Well, look at there, a brand new Yieldmax ETF, BIGY, BIGY. I'm hoping BIGY brings big dividends. Hey everyone, it's Legend. I wanted to do a video on a new ETF at Yieldmax. It's BIGY, and this one targets the top 50 or 50 large companies. So they'll do covered calls on these 50 large companies. So just kind of want to go over this one. I did buy a few shares of this one as it is new. It has not been out long. It's only been out, I think, for maybe a week. So let's scroll on down here and let's check out what BIGY is all about here. Fund name, of course, being the Yieldmax Target 12. It's the big 50 option income. So the inception date is November the 20th. This one here will pay out monthly, and we'll get to that here in a second. But let's just look at some of the option plays that they are in. And it looks like they are in an Apple call for $232.50. Current price of Apple presently is $239.59. Is what it closed at today, December the 2nd. So they've got about 18 days here. If this Apple does come back down some, then this one here will be okay. And if it stays, the price stays up at the $239.50-ish, then they will have to pay to close this one because it would be in the money and they would need to pay to close it, because they do not carry the actual stock or the actual underlying shares. It's all synthetic. And here they have another Apple call at $245. This one here is in better shape with that $239.50 current price. Both of them expire on December the 20th. Meaning that at that date, at expiration date of December the 20th, if the price is at or above the actual strike price, which is this price here, $245 and $232.50, if it's at or above that, then the shares would be called away. But since they do not own shares, they would have to pay to close that option. Here they have ABBV at, again, December the 20th. They have a call for $172.50. They've got a call at $180. They've got a call at $182.50. And they've got a call at $197.50. So they've covered quite a bit of span here. Current price of ABBV is $181.77. So you would want this call price, or the strike price of this call for each one. It would need to be under this call strike price so that it would not get called away. If it does, then they would have to pay to close that. So if the current price of $181.77, that would mean that this first one here is in jeopardy of being of having to pay to close. The 180 is just under that current price. So this one here, again, you would have to pay to close. The 182.50, they're in good shape, and 197.50, they're in good shape. Now, just because these two here are under the current price does not mean they would have to pay to close it at the moment, because there is still time value built in. These do not expire until December the 20th. Today is December the 2nd. So there's still time in these plays for it to continue, and if it does come back down, then all of these could possibly be in good shape. But on the flip side, if ABBV continues to go up and say it gets up to $200, then they would actually have to close all of these, and they would have to pay to close each one of them. So that, of course, would then take into account and cut out a lot of the premium that they had actually earned on doing the calls for these plays. Okay, so here we are looking at the distribution schedules for the Yieldmax plays, and here they've got a button for the distribution schedule for the Target 12, and that is the new BIGY. So if we click that, you can see here that the X date, and here's the payment date. So the X date being the first one in January the 8th, then it'll go February the 5th, March the 5th, April the 2nd, and so forth. So it'll be once a month that it will pay out, and this is the actual payment date, which is roughly about a day later, and that's pretty typical even on the group A, B, C, and D's. But this one here will be on a particular day. So this one here will be on the first, roughly the first of the month. This one will pay out. So it's a little bit of a different schedule for this one. So I'm just getting a few shares. I only bought about 7 shares of this one just to try it out and see how it plays out. Won't see anything until January the 9th of 2025 before I'll actually receive a first dividend on this one. So won't know much until then, but hopefully it will stay up or continue to go up on the price. Let's check out the Webull chart and look at the price action on BIGY. Okay, so here we are on the Webull desktop, and we're looking at BIGY, which is the Yieldmax new target 12 that will use the underlines of the top for the big 50 stocks. So we will see how this one plays out, but as you can see, it did open in November the 21st, and it usually they open around about 50 bucks. So it looks like that's what it opened at, and it did drop down to about $49.45 and then ended up closing at $50.15. And it has been trading sideways until the last day or so, and now it's starting to move up. So today it ended up closing at $50.87. I did buy today, and I am up in this one already. I bought it at $50.86. So I'm up 7 cents. But you know, that's good. Just got into it. I've only been into it for a couple hours, so we will see how this one plays out. But I just wanted to show this one. This is a new one with Yieldmax. I wanted to get in on this one early just to see if this one can continue on and see how it plays out, right? You know, you don't know unless you try, but I am keeping my cost down in this one because I do not know how it's going to play out. So I'm just buying a little bit into it, and I'll buy a little bit more here and there as I go. But I will probably add it to my list of my stocks that and ETFs that I am dollar cost averaging in using the dividends that I'm receiving from the Yieldmax. So that's what I usually do, is I receive the dividend from the Yieldmax and I roll it back into other Yieldmax ETFs or Round Hill or Defiance. So I've got a little bit of each one of those, and I'm just kind of rolling that dividend right back into it to purchase more shares, bring my average down, and hopefully get to a point where I am, you know, bringing in a nice little dividend per week, and then I can start withdrawing off of that. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up right there, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is a new one, BIGY. Not sure if anybody is aware of this one yet. Maybe you are, and if you are, let me know in the comments. Have you did any research on this one? Have you got into it, or are you just watching? But as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.